Hey, Nicole.
Good evening.
You know what? You better stop playing. We starting early.
She offended me early on. I almost did not come on this evening. We were going to have to delay the taping for another time.
Oh, you a mess. But I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying.
She's disrespectful, people. But we're gonna continue to be professional and move on with the show.
Yeah, okay.
Salutations, Nikkei.
Salutations, Nicole. Let's begin by shouting out our sponsors, shall we?
We shall.
Okay. And we're going to start with who's that on your hat?
Urban Entertainment, the international DJing company and urban apparel company that I'm actually a part of, and they are sponsoring us. So I'm wearing one of their hats tonight, which is a different design than I normally have worn. I normally wear my Nicole with my iFirm today, but we're sporting urban tonight. Thank you so much to Raymond Bell and his team of competent DJs. Definitely check them out on social media near you.
All right. And Share Dazzle.
Sheer Dazzle Salon, who's responsible for these. Because if you saw my hair before I got them, you would be you'll be like, yeah, you need a style. So they're in Sam Circle in Chesapeake. Kiki Johnson is the owner as well as the head stylist there, but she has a lot of other lovely young ladies that are able to get you looking your very best. So she's good with everything: natural hair, permed hair, colored hair. She does it all, and of course, braids.
Sweet. And
Color You Cosmetics.
once
And
again, not responsible for this.
the healthy glow you see on my skin is because of Color You Cosmetics, as well as anything that I've done. I am their brand ambassador, and they're here in Norfolk, Virginia, as well as in Lithonia, Georgia. So if you want any of their products, definitely check them out on social media as well. Or you can inbox me for more information because they have excellent products. And trust me, I would not be pushing stuff that does not work or does not fit. So if you like what you see going on with my skin, with my beats, when my face is fully made up, this is like a little natural kind of like toned down thing I got going on tonight, then definitely contact me or look for Color You Cosmetics on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And they also have a website as well.
You need to bring a sample palette or something next time.
You know what, I should, because if you could see all the stuff that I have. Yeah, they have a large array of everything.
And speaking of samples, because our unofficial sponsor, because they don't know we shouting them out yet.
Yeah, they don't.
Aldi's snacks. See, before we got on show, I was munching, and this is what I was munching on: the wafer rolls, Benton's from Aldi's. These are good. These are tasty. And Nicole was taking forever to get here, and I almost ate the whole container.
Wow. We
But I'm
really
working
went
on. We
there.
went there. We went there. We went there. That's not what we was fighting about before the show, but we going there right now. But I exercise some self-control, and you can hear
She didn't exercise before she threw me under the bus, but that's okay.
what
It's so good.
I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. What snacks you got?
Well, I have kettle corn. I'm trying to get to the camera, but that's this backwards thing.
Yeah, that whole
And
left
this
right.
is by this is by Trader Joe's, and it really is delicious. It's light, it's sweet, has a little hint of salt. So I'll be snacking on that this evening.
Okay.
So
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 while
Aldi's
we're
and Trader Joe's are our unofficial
official
sponsors.
sponsors, we like Trader Joe's. We do.
We do.
And so while we're snacking, we're going to be talking about training day.
Now we went back, people. We went back into the crates, dusted off some stuff, and that's what we're gonna do. But also keep in mind that this is the month of October, so we'll be getting into some horror. Yes. later on this month. So be prepared to be scared.
But this was a departure at the time for them,
Yes.
because I don't think up until now, up until this point, we had seen him do bad guy, not like this.
Oh no, 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 no.
No.
And I don't think this part for him there was any redeemable qualities. You
Mm,
know how you can, you have that villain and you can kind of really get with, and like the Joker, like some of us kind of connect with him, or
right,
any of these other Marvel villains. You're like, I can really see myself and understand their plight and why they are the way they are, and almost kind of like root for the underdog in a way, even though it's probably not, or when you watch gangster movies, it's the same way. They're
right,
criminals, but you still like the Godfather, and you want to, and you want
right.
that particular family to win out of the five families.
Mhm.
So, but he had zero, in my opinion, redeemable qualities. He was just,
It's like
uh,
from the door, he was like,
yeah,
"Can I read my paper? I told you, show up, get here, and order something. It's on my dime. Oh, you're not gonna order nothing? You missed out. That's it. Oh, you're not gonna let me read my paper? Tell me a story. That's the only story you could." It's like from the door, he was just a jerk,
yeah, he was.
straight up.
And he
I
made,
was,
but you know what? You have to appreciate the fact that he maintained that the entire. There was no real character development with him at all. If you're looking for aha moment, road to Damascus moment, no, it didn't happen for him. He did not turn around.
he
He went
came
down
in
that way.
at 10 and he stayed at 10
Yeah,
the whole
the whole
time. I
time.
mean, when you're talking about good cop, bad cop, he and Ethan Hawke kind of played those roles.
They did.
They counterbalanced each other throughout the whole thing. If
They
you wanted
did.
somebody that was seasoned against somebody who was green, they played seasoned cop, seasoned crooked cop, and green rookie
Mm-hmm.
perfectly the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time. I have forgotten that what's his name was in this. I mean, he pulled in a few rappers in this as well, because Dr. Dre
Yeah.
was in this, Snoop was in this. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
When he clocked Dr. Dre, I was like he.
That right there was a hush that went over the room. It was like, who puts their hands on? You do realize that he is like gang affiliated. We really doing that today? Okay.
I was like, wait, he took the hit. He took the hit.
Yeah, he
I was like,
did
that
take the
was his
hit.
whole job. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, and this was after Malcolm X.
Yes.
This followed Malcolm X. So everyone expected Denzel to get the Academy Award for Malcolm X
I
because,
didn't. I didn't. I
okay,
didn't.
let me rephrase. Allow me to rephrase. Everyone wanted him to get
Yes.
the award
That's
he deserved the award for Malcolm X.
just like how they slided the color purple, but we knew that was going to happen. We
Hmm.
knew that was going to happen because what I want to say, the color purple was going against was it Schindler's List at the time,
I think so. Yeah.
and Malcolm X was going against another film that was like kind of like equal on the same level that I
I
think people
forget
just felt
what
like,
it was. I forget what it was going up against,
yeah,
but it was like everybody knew that because he played Malcolm X. It did, at that point, it didn't matter ticket sales. It didn't
no,
matter that he basically morphed into Malcolm X. It's like you
he
forgot it was
did.
Denzel at that point. I mean, he got the body language right. He got posture, gesture,
And
vocal tone, all of that.
you haven't done the right thing. It's like in my head,
You
it's
know,
when I'm because a lot of us grew up watching, even though Malcolm had already been deceased by the time we were born.
right.
I has watched so much footage on him as a
Hmm.
child that by the time Denzel got on the screen,
Right.
just to hear him, I was blown. It really
Right.
gave me chills. And they said that's how it was for the children.
Yeah.
When they saw him perform, it was like watching their father. And for them, that had to be awe
That had to
striking
be
because
really emotional.
they lost their father so young. I want to say the oldest child wasn't even 10 yet, when their father died, and one was in the mother's arms. Or
Right.
was she pregnant? It was something like that. I feel like either one was in her arms or she was pregnant.
Hmm.
Like there's one that really truly did not know him
Didn't
at
know him,
all.
right. And
But
so it's
yeah,
like for him to nail a historical figure so well, because that is never easy to do,
no.
and not to get the award because everybody knows he deserved that award, and then to turn around and get the award for playing a dirty cop, it's like,
Well,
what were y'all what were y'all paying attention to exactly?
that was the same argument that everyone had when it came to Holly Berry. She had done all this other great work, but she gets it for Monsters Ball.
Right.
So those were two, and I want to say she got from Monsters Ball not too long after Denzel got for Training Day. So it was almost like, oh, so we have to be
Butt
scummy,
naked.
butt naked. And that scene, let me tell you something. I was grown at the time, but I
Hmm.
really felt like I needed to be carded all over again. I felt like somebody should have came right down. I'm like, you know what? if
Ma'am, you
you're
too
not
young.
if
You
you're
need
not
an
this
adult.
grown, you need to close. Like your mom said, cover your eyes, close
Hmm.
close your eyes. I just felt like I saw a lot.
Too much. Hmm.
Yeah, that scene kind of did something for me. Like it, yeah. Just like the scene in Beloved touched me on the inside. That did something to me too. So
Yeah.
it's certain scenes that you're like, I want to unsee that. I really want to.
That would, to
I want
me,
to
that
unremember that.
was
Is that a word?
that
Unremember?
yeah, Beloved, that there were scenes in that to me were just disturbing. It's like, did you have to give me that visual?
Mm.
Did you have to give me that visual?
Yeah, we did. We did
It's
because
like,
now 20 years later, guess what you're talking about? That scene. We had to do it because we're still relevant. Now you may be horrified and you may have to pay a $50 copay to see a therapist because we horrified you and traumatized you. But guess what? We're still relevant. How about that? Like,
okay, all right. But it's like, as I was watching it all again, all of that came back to me like, he got the award for this instead of
and he
that.
did instead of that. And
And
not
it's not
saying that
that the
he
acting wasn't good. It's not that it wasn't a good performance, but the other performance was,
you morphed into someone else.
yeah.
You became the epitome, the personification of someone else.
We're
But
talking about
they were never going to give it to him because he did Malcolm. Malcolm, the edge of his controversial nature has waned over the last 20 years since that movie came out. But when the movie came out at the time, it was still fresh in people's minds that he was
I think
the
it's always going to be triggering.
yeah, in its own way, but not as much. It's like
Hmm.
because I think so much has happened and so many people have learned more about him and how he changed towards the end of his life
Right.
that he's not the specter, like the boogeyman, the civil rights boogeyman that he was, because they always used to pit him against
Martin
Martin
Luther
Luther King.
King. Right.
So you have that. But then if we get back to the movie that we're looking at today, because we've been all over the place right now. We traveled all around the world when it comes to cinema history. When we get back to Training Day, you know, it says a lot that, the movies really don't like to depict, or television doesn't like to depict, if it can help it, dirty cops at all.
Mm-hmm.
But when you depict a dirty cop that happens to be Black and is celebrated with an award, that's saying something. That's the thing
Right.
that kind of like
Right.
took it. Yeah.
The irony. The irony.
And that, who was a good cop?
The rookie.
Who
The,
happened to be?
hello.
Okay.
Hello.
That's the elephant in the room. Do we want to even touch that? That happened to be what? Okay, yeah, that part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was sitting right out there.
It was.
And again, that's the other thing that people talked about after the award. They're like, so wait a minute. Again, the placement, you put it in LA, and you have this man going through his own community doing all of this dirty stuff.
Terrorizing people. And you gotta remember, it wasn't too many years after all the issues with the LA riots, the LA police, and Rodney
Mhm.
King. So we're gonna turn this thing on its head and
Okay,
make the cop Black and dirty in his own community.
right. And then you put, oh, he had some tangling with the Russians. You never see the Russians
Never.
that he was
Never.
tangling with.
No.
That's all. That's off on the side, you know. And the other dirty cops that are above him, they're sitting in this fancy restaurant somewhere, going, dude, you're gonna get in trouble. You gotta
Yeah.
pay back this money, and their hands are clean.
Oh yeah. But he's the one that's doing the grunge work. Kind of reminds you of how in the mafia you have that lieutenant that,
Mm-hmm.
that's down on the street level, that's, making sure that everything, and that's the person that normally gets pinched.
Right.
Your lower level people, and then maybe your lieutenant gets pinched, and you kind of like, yeah. So he was that guy, you
Yeah.
know.
Overall, I think I still say, even after seeing it again, it's just as jarring as it was to watch the first time.
It's like, I don't know, there's some people out here that probably pledged, um, some organization, and he
Mhm.
pretty much pledged that boy. Or if you didn't pledge, if you've gone through some type of initiation of any sort, some people say, when you go through certain ranks in the military and things like that, that there's some things that people undergo that no one ever talks about. If you ever gone through some type of process where somebody's trying to make you, or you trying to be made, this is what he did to him. But at the
Mhm.
same token, I don't really think he did it for his good, because I don't think he really wanted him to survive.
No.
It's like sometimes his whole thing was that, if he gets killed, so be it. I could cover that up. If it ends up, working on his favor, so be it. But I really almost felt like at the end of the day, he really truly did not care whether his boy made it or not. That was not the end game. You ended up in my car, so whatever happens, happens to you.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the way I took that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, what was this for you?
I would say a 5, because when you look at Denzel's body of work, and I think that people can just look at a movie by itself, but when you're doing for actor like Denzel, you have to kind of compare this work to his other work. When you look
Hmm.
at his body of work, it took a lot for him to get out of the Malcolm X mode. Because one thing that critics like to say about actors a lot of the time is that they seem to be the same way in everything they do. It's like it's a hint of, oh, this is reminiscent of when they played blah blah blah. Like, I
Right.
hate to say this, they say a lot of that about Vivica Fox. That Vivica Fox is pretty much Vivica Fox in every film. That's how they've kind of typecast her. Whether that's accurate or fair or not,
Hmm.
for the purposes of this conversation, I just want to use her.
Yeah.
Whereas can you imagine how enthralled he had to become and immersed when it comes to the knowledge of who Mal, and not to mention they had to get special permission in Mecca for him to do the things that he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order for him to go into the mosque,
Going to
you
the
know,
temple, you have to convert and all of
you have
that
to
stuff
convert.
before you walk in.
So you cannot be in that prayer room the way he was praying. And
Right.
they didn't do that. And the thing is that they didn't do that on a set. They could have possibly recreated with some permission, and then and made some minor changes where, unless you're Muslim and you've been there, you would know that's not
Right.
yet there.
The place.
They didn't do that. They took him there,
Mm-hmm.
and he did that.
Right.
So you go from that to being a dirty cop. Your firework, if you don't do anything else, sir, you've done enough. I gotta give it to you. You're the GOAT. Really, when he did, I'm proud of the fact that Malcolm X wasn't the pinnacle of his success. He's done so much more since then and been equally as successful in everything he's done since then.
Mm-hmm.
But in all actuality, if he decided, you know what, I don't even think I could carry the water of being an actor anymore, and drop the mic on Malcolm X, bam. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You've given us enough of yourself in the act. Let somebody else pass the baton. But
Right.
no, comes back, dirty cop, nails it. Nails it. And
Mm-hmm.
became a despicable character. And then after that, became likable again. Who does that? There's a guy what's the guy played in Tyler Perry's movie? People still hate him to this day. God, what's his name?
The one that was in Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Yes.
Yeah, went on
People
site. On
on
site.
site. They have nothing for him.
And
He is,
the thing is, he got abused by his wife in that film.
ma'am,
Um,
tortured, psychological warfare,
mhm, mhm.
and
She
still
handled
said it,
him.
and still sat at dinner table with her hair broken, all hurt, thinking he had a chance. And she was like, "I'm going to get my man." Kissed him on the forehead and gave him divorce papers at the dinner table in front of everybody. I don't know what to say about that. And
Okay,
people still hate him. They even look at the fact that he paid for that.
look,
The
he
10 minutes
he
ago,
got Danny Glover credits, and people don't even know his name.
don't. And that's another guy. Danny Glover was hated for a while behind me. I didn't hate him because of this. I really didn't. I didn't because really, in all actuality, he was terrible. But at the same token, it's just like, I mean, she got you back. I mean, she moved on. You ended up, living in a nasty house all alone. That curse word. I couldn't even, but people still hate Danny Glover like he was him.
They look at him and go, Mister. Mm.
But did
You
anybody
know,
hate her stepdaddy that raped her and impregnated her? Did anybody hate him? No, we don't even talk about that. But we hated Danny Glover for 20 years behind it. 20
because
years. And
he was in most of the film. That's why.
but
Okay.
no one looked. Oh, but we're not gonna deal with the child molester. We really gonna let him skate. We're gonna let him skate
Because he
by
died. He died.
on top
He
of
got
me.
his comeuppance.
On top of me. And I remember being a kid being like, okay, first of all, the fact my mama let me watch that movie, I don't even know. May she rest. I don't know. There's some stuff that our parents allowed us to do, and I'm just like, was that even appropriate or even legal? Could she even get? I
Not
don't know.
legal.
But she let me watch that movie. I was like 9, and then I'm trying to figure out, well, what did she mean? I unpacked it. What did she mean when she said he died on top of me? So that kind of sat. I had to put my popcorn down for a second because I was gonna eat some more. So that kind of like sat here. I had to shelf it because I was gonna ask what that meant. You know how you experience things as a kid, especially in the
You
Black
knew
community,
not to ask
or
about that.
yeah,
Right there.
or just being a minority. Period. There's certain things that you do not ask. That we can't be inquisitive about certain things. We just have to be willfully and blindly ignorant. And then one day, hopefully, the answer will come to you. But
It'll
you
click.
could be 59 years old. You would never ask your mama, what did that mean when you asked me what? You know what? I really didn't need to know. It's all right.
Listen, there's stuff that my daughter's still waiting for me to tell her certain things when she's older.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. I ain't want to touch it. I was a teenager and I
When you
finally
figure
figured
it
out, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep that to myself. I would never tell my mom that. I would never tell. She'll never know. And to this day, and she's gone on, she would know. She might know now, but I mean, but I'm gonna whisper it. 'Cause I don't know what she meant.
it's like, that's what happened. Oh,
That's
that's
what
why
happened.
she was holding the baby. Oh.
And then she whispered it and sleep back. No, honey, you better say it loud and proud. You won't shame. And my mama said, you won't shame when you done it.
You can't talk about those things in the house of the Lord, though. She was like
Yeah,
close to
she
the
was
front.
she
She was
was
real close
modest.
to the altar.
But I'm blind. I'm blown by the fact that she covered her baby's ears like the baby was gonna know. Did you notice that she covered the baby's ears like the baby was like, wait, what?
Like the baby was gonna ask questions.
But yeah, but you'll get back to Denzel. He he escaped that. I don't know
Mhm.
how he did it. To this day, but I'm gonna tell you, no, I do know how he did it. You know I'm about to say, right? You
Go
know what I'm
ahead.
about to say.
Go ahead.
You know why he escaped that?
He a G. He a G.
Okay, no, that's not it.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you seen Denzel? Have you seen him? Have you really looked upon him? Basically, ain't too much he could do, and I won't forgive him. I can't think of too much that Denzel Washington could ever do. And I wouldn't be like, you know what? He gets a pass. He gets a pass. You name a crime. I'd be like, you know what? Somehow someone provoked him to do that.
In a
He's
2 hour movie,
he's too
almost two
fine to
hour
wear any of
movie.
that. He's too fine to wear it. He's too fine to carry it. You let somebody
Everything
lesser
he
than
did in
carry
that
that for him.
movie, everything he did in that movie, you like, I forgive you.
I forgive you.
Side chick,
I
side
forgive you.
baby, and all,
I,
I
I
forgive it.
forgive you. I forgive you. Not I
That's
forgive you. I forgive you. Now,
I
yeah,
forgive.
I forgive you.
Drop the V. I forgive you.
I forgive
Look, and that's the part that cracked me up in the movie.
you.
When they mentioned his 4 kids, I was like, five,
Five,
five.
five.
Y'all missed one. I was
That
like, I'm sitting there thinking they need to do a sequel to cover that.
yeah. They need to fix that. Like,
I
wait,
was,
what?
I was like, they need to do a sequel to cover that and to cover when Dr. Dre comes back for the rookie because that was unresolved.
That was unresolved. I need Dr. Dre to decide I'm not gonna do any more entrepreneurial endeavors until I do some type of movie to address the fact that this dude did what he did to me. I know it's acting. I know I got a check. I know it wasn't real. But just because it's out there lingering in film world, I need everyone to know that I'm a true G, and that would never happen in real nor fake life.
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
gonna let
address that.
it's like I'm not gonna let a rookie chin check me like that.
Yep,
I
yep.
got to
Hold my
go
beat.
fix
Be like, just hold my beat. Let me take it out. Just hold these real quick. Yeah, take that. Yeah, hold
that.
that.
So for the same reasons, I'll give it a 5 because I'm like, all right, we done went from the great debaters to this.
Glory. See, we have to go all the way back. We have to go back to glory.
Oh, okay. I'm um like I said, it was jarring for me.
Mhm.
You go from all around, all American good guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Heck, we go from Shakespearean actor, much ado about nothing, to this. And it's like, yeah, this is a broad range.
It's a
This is a
broad.
really broad range. So on that, I'm like, all right, he made a bet with somebody because as I was preparing dinner, I was thinking about that. I'm like, why would he do of all the roles that he could have done? Because Denzel made a choice.
He did.
He didn't have to take this role, but he decided to do this role.
But
So,
that's what he does with everything. It's a decision.
mhm,
It's a
mhm,
decision. And he wanted to show how talented and skilled he is. And I think he felt like if I could pull this off, you know, off the back of being snubbed for an Academy Award, they made this man 3 shades lighter with makeup, and he didn't like a corpse. They put red dye in his hair, and he didn't look like a carrot top looking crazy. They Spike, and I don't know who the makeup artist was to do that. Denzel is, I want to say he's average height. He's not tall.
mhm,
Malcolm X was tall. I want to say Malcolm was over 6 feet. So camera angles made this man larger than life. They leaned him out with the costume because he did lose some weight, but Malcolm was lean and tall.
mhm.
And he was able to pull that out with just everything,
Right.
everything, and then come back and become a villain. And guess what? The world forgave him. Black, white, fat, skinny. We forgave him. You were a
Okay.
crooked cop, but you know what? You Denzel.
And that's it. And that's
I
it.
forgave him because he was fine. Now other people may have forgave him because he was Denzel. I forgave him
See, that's you. That's you.
because he
I
was.
I ain't even paying attention to look. I'm just sitting here in awe because it's like you actually pulled this off. I'm
Pulled
like,
it off.
who did you make a way? I want to know who did you make a wager with one of your students and say, I bet you I can do this role.
He probably did. I would love to
And
interview him.
I want to know the story behind what did you see in this character that said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm gonna do it. Because it's like this is so way outside. It's just like even with the previous one we did with Felicia Rashad, she was the bad guy in Black Box, but she was still a mom. It wasn't such a far departure from what she usually plays, but it wasn't the usual type.
No, but when she swapped up though, I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was a mom, but when she switched up, you realize real quick that you're not looking at Claire Huxtable.
Right.
It wasn't a moment in that
Mm-hmm.
movie that felt like I was looking at Claire 2.0.
Right.
I knew that chick was on some other stuff. Period.
Right.
She
Right.
sold that.
But she wasn't a complete 180.
Yeah.
You follow? It
She was
wasn't a
still
complete.
calm. She was
This,
still calm. She was
she
still
was
measured.
measured. She was still an intellectual. She was still all of those things that she usually plays somewhere along the line.
Hmm.
This, no. Mm-mm. He went all the way the other way. And it was like, and like I said, even seeing it again, I was still sitting there like,
Denzel said, "Hold my beer."
okay.
Said, "Hold my beer." He was like, "Wait, you don't believe I can? Don't even worry about it.
You go,
Hold
oh,
my
you
beer."
don't think I could let watch me work?
Yeah, hand my, hold my Cavassier. He was like, just hold that. Just hold that. Don't
Watch
don't
me
don't
work.
warm my glass too much, but I'm just need you to hold
I'm gonna tell you what I really think. I think this role was written for Samuel Jackson.
it. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised because that is right down his alley. He could do that role in his sleep,
Okay.
not even memorizing a line. He could just go in, just be Sam Jackson.
Okay. With all the customers, because as soon as he started cussing, he said, "Mine." I said, "What? Who?"
I was like, is that Denzel?
Somebody call Paulette. Okay. I was like, where his
I
wife?
said, I said,
Did
did
she know
Paulette tell
he
you you
doing
could do
this?
this? I know she didn't tell you could do this. Paulette didn't co-sign on this.
I was like, does she? Where his wife? Does she know he doing this?
Mm.
You know. But I was like, the whole time.
So we gave this movie a 5 because Denzel is a tremendous actor
You
and
nailed it.
thespian,
You
and
nailed
because he's fine. I mean, that's
Well, she's.
he's fine. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
I mean,
He
he
he gets
is,
all
but
kinds of passes.
that's not the point. That really isn't the point.
It's my point. You don't
He
have to
got
like
good
it. You don't have to
genes.
even agree. Denzel, you're fine. Not like you need me to say it, but I just feel like somebody else needs to say it. Someone needs to fully appreciate that he's just
Objectify the man, my God.
that fine. not just not not just fine, but he's just that fine. Yeah. Thank you for gracing the silver screen, with your presence. We need that in our lives. Our eyes need to behold that kind of beauty.
No,
Just so
thank you for
appreciative.
being talented.
Oh, I give him all of that. I
Thank
did,
you for your
you
best.
all want to diminish how fine he is. We could
It's not about
people have
diminishing.
written books on how much of an awesome actor he is. We know all that. We
He's
know all of that.
tooken. He's
Huh?
tooken. He's
But
tooken.
he could be appreciated. Paulette, I'm not coming for him because I don't do that. But we can fully appreciate that, and we can also say we need other people to rise to the occasion.
That part.
Denzel one day is going to be like, you know what? I've done this. I'm good with that. When he leaves the scene, somebody else needs to come up. And I don't think that we have anybody that I feel can step into his shoes right now. That's just me
You know,
personally. I don't, I have people I think are, yeah, but
they're
no,
working
not
on it.
like,
They're working
huh?
on it. I think we have a few that are working on it.
Well, they're going to have to work a little harder
Oh, well.
because, yeah, they're going to have to work a little harder. But we can appreciate his work, all jokes aside, because you all know I'm a clown. But all jokes aside, I, you have to appreciate someone that made that character take a second look and say, you know what, we weren't comfortable, because that's what it boiled down to. They were not comfortable with giving it to him because of Malcolm X's character.
Right.
I think that the whole thing boiled down to we're not comfortable with who Malcolm X was, so we don't want to co-sign and say, you know, somebody portraying him deserves an award for portraying someone that we're not comfortable with. So they kind of like let that opportunity slide. The
Right.
next opportunity had to honor him. They honor him with this. Now he's had several more opportunities since then to be considered, because he has proven his worthiness. But at the end of the day, if he never got an award,
Mm-hmm.
we all
You know.
know that we all know that the box office sales, let the like Claire Hustle likes to say, let the record show.
Hello.
Those box office sales will let you know.
Exactly.
All everything that's written about him when it comes to work he's done will let you know. And the fact that he's still sought after and relevant after all this time lets you know.
Yes.
So no, that little statue is nice. That's great. That's wonderful. But at the end of the day, that resume speaks
Oh
for
my
itself.
gosh. Oh my
Let
gosh.
the worst that I've done, speak for me. How about that?
And do.
Academy and the
And
rest of you and the Globe and all. Yeah, how about that?
mm-hmm.
We it's nice to get, but we don't have to have that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So that being said, make sure that you follow us, your mods, on our platforms.
And I do act better, most evenings, but I came in on some other stuff today.
She
The
always act
cake
like
kind of kicked, yeah, the cake kind of kicked it off. She put me in a different headspace, so I came in riding a little high. But normally I'm a little bit more reserved and more tactful, and
don't blame me. You being you. Don't blame me. You being you.
right.
So you can find me on nikkeiwrites.wordpress.com.
She's a prolific writer. She can write for real, y'all. She can write for real. You got people that play around, and you're like, oh, that was nice, baby.
You know, I'll be
She
throwing
can
stuff
write,
together.
but she can write for real. As a matter of fact, she was a lot of people don't notice that, Kay, you were one of my beta readers for my book. Thank God, because that's a story for another day.
Yeah,
But she and some other people single-handedly saved my book. My book was like, my book was reading like Dr. Seuss before you're like, no, baby,
it wasn't that bad.
you gotta.
It wasn't that bad. I was like, you forgot a period. I'll put that over there.
Do you mind? Because you hear that voice, but it cuts like ice. It cuts like a knife. Do you mind if we just take this entire page out?
I did not do that.
But she can write for real. So I mean, please follow her.
Oh,
Definitely.
thank you, thank you.
And
And
she's an
our friend,
intellect, and she's funny. So you gotta love her.
you know, I make people
When
chuckle every now and then. Don is not with us today, but make
she-
sure you follow him on donmiskel.com. And you want to talk about somebody who can write their tail off.
yes.
He is it.
Mystery, horror, and macabre,
Mhm.
suspenseful, frightening. Yeah, he has some stuff that I won't read, and he'll say, "Oh, Nicole," he's like, because he calls his sister, "Oh, sister, do you play?" Oh no, I'm not touching that. Not.
But
I'll buy it.
he has touchable stuff too.
He
So
does have touch stuff
his
too.
latest
Yeah.
is the
Brandywine
Brandywine
series.
trilogy. Yeah, the
Yes.
Brandywine trilogy. So check him out. He's on Amazon too. So search his name on Amazon for
Yes.
all
And
his
in his
stuff.
books. Yep, and Brandywine is based on Chicago. So if you are from the
Mhm.
Midwest, you're from Chicago, you may be able to really, dig your teeth into his work and say, "Hey, I know those places. Hey, I know those people. I know
Right.
those experiences," and get a full appreciation. If you're not from the Midwest or Chicago, it give you some insight on an area that you may not be as familiar with, and get that whole full visual. How
Mhm.
we kind of like have visions of what New York or Miami or Atlanta's like. So, definitely check him out. And he's a
Right.
brainchild of Moves That Movie, and we love and appreciate.
Yes, yes. And then of course, Miss Trouble herself, Nicole DeCandis.
Y'all, I flew all the way in from the other side of Norfolk just to be able to do this broadcast.
Yes.
Woo.
Yes. She was
Yeah.
like, "Are you short right now?" I'm like, "Ma'am, yes, tonight, right now."
I had to get my promo for my own show. I have a show outside of Movies That Movie. They actually let me record some other stuff. And under Nicole Candy. So, definitely follow me, if you feel so inclined to do so. If I haven't, shot myself in the foot by participating in this over here and being a nut. I mean, and I am a life coach, y'all. A whole life coach. And I'm somebody's assistant principal. Oh, that's scary.
But you know what? At least you know she's out here coaching other people, but she can let her hair down. Okay?
Yes.
This is the
Yes.
person you want as your life coach. She doesn't take herself too serious. You don't want a life coach that's all buttoned down and like, oh, you must live this way, just perfectly all that. No, you don't need that. You need someone
You
who
need
can,
somebody to say, what is you doing?
yeah,
For real, really? What's really going on?
it's like, ma'am, you need a laxative. You don't want that person. Okay. You
Yeah.
want, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And at the opening of the show, you heard music by Robert Rice Jr. Our
Yes, please follow
sociologist.
him.
Follow, download. He has his entire album on there, so check it all out.
Make some
Okay.
purchases. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our pages, Movies That Move We, on Facebook and YouTube.
And we take
Subscribe
those
to the
questions
channel.
seriously, ma'ams and sirs. So answer 3 questions. They're not security questions. We're not asking about who your first grade teacher was, what your
No.
grandmother's maiden name is. what your favorite color is, your first animal. We're not asking any of that.
No,
We're just
no,
asking basic questions just to make sure that you're not a troll, that you're not coming in and try to sell something, anything like that. Just so we can have people that are serious about just having a good time talking about movie
right.
and talking about other things that impact African American or minority cinema. So, yeah, that part.
Exactly. So, again, thank you so much for joining us. And
Yes,
until
yes.
next time, we're going to focus on, we don't know what movie we're going to do next, but we're going to do
But
the
it's gonna be
scary stuff.
scary. It's gonna be
Scary stuff
scary.
coming up.
I'm
So,
excited about it. Yeah, I love horror
yay.
movies.
All right. So, until next time, people, see you later.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.